Here's how I practice as a +2 golfer. I'm here on the driving range at my home club or Woodley Golf Club, and I'm going to run through how a +2 scratch golfer practices through the winter to actually improve their game. It's really easy to go to the range and just batter balls endlessly. So what should you be doing if you actually want to improve your scoring? The first thing I would say is always have a plan of what you're going to do before you get to the range, because it's really easy to just get there and then kind of on autopilot and not know what you're trying to intend to do. So my coach always says this thing to me, which is what, why, how. So what are you going to do, why are you going to do it, and how are you going to measure it? And I think that's a really easy structure to follow. So it might be that you really want to do some technical work. You've just been for a golf lesson, you've got a specific drill you're going to do. So you're going to say, I'm going to do this new drill I've been given. So that's what you're going to do. Why are you going to do it? You're trying to improve a certain thing in your swing. So for me currently, I'm trying to get my path, move it a little bit further to the right. So I can measure that by either using TrackMan, see if that's correct, but also getting my phone out, putting it on a tripod, filming my swing and seeing if I'm hitting those positions that I saw in my golf lesson. So that's a really easy structure to follow. All you have to do is write it out in a notepad, and then over time you can actually see how you're improving. So maybe my path was 2 left today, but in 3 weeks it might be 1 right, and I can see that I've actually got better. Now, another thing I'm really big on is always having a target. Now, luckily here there's a lot of different flags, but sometimes you go to a range and there's nothing really to aim at. So I'd always get you to get something out and just create your own target. Now, if we're in the grass, I can kind of wander out and put a stick in on my target line, and then I can aim around that. If we're on a driving range and we can't do that, I would do a similar thing, but just lay an alignment stick or a club along the floor, which is on my target line, and then I'm going to hit down it. Now, this is really important because golf is a target-oriented game. You know, we're trying to get the ball 1 into the fairway and then onto the green near the flagstick. So just hitting balls without a target really isn't helping you see if you're hitting it straight or if you're hitting it relative to where you want to. So dialing this in is not only going to be helpful for just orientating you towards a target better, but it's also going to help you see where your miss is. You know, am I starting it right and drawing it a lot? Am I starting it left and fading it a lot? Which you can then take that out onto the golf course and know where to aim relative to that target. You can also use this for a bit of shot shaping games. Can I start it left and move it round it? Can I start it right and move it round it? So there's a few really good things you can do just from having a simple alignment stick out in front of you. Now, if you are choosing to do technical work and try and improve your golf swing, there's a few things that I think are important to help you kind of speed up that process. One is having enough practice swings and actually practicing kind of the movement you're trying to do at different paces. So starting slow and then building the speed up. Because obviously we're so used to doing the natural movement that we do at full speed in our golf swing. The more times we can practice that in slow speed, it's teaching us to kind of change that pattern without necessarily bringing the golf ball in. Another thing is to really over-exaggerate your movement, because it's really hard to make changes, and over-exaggerating something is going to mean that you're actually more likely to get a little bit nearer to what you're supposed to be doing. So for me, if I'm trying to change something, even if I know I actually want my path to be here, I'm going to really exaggerate it kind of really on the inside and in here. So it's going to feel more natural to do something between what my swing is now and that. So massive thing I would say, if you want to improve your technique this winter, over-exaggerate what you're trying to feel to get you to improve that movement faster. And don't worry if you hit it badly when you're doing the drills. That's all part of the process. And actually, if you're hitting perfect shots every time, you're probably not trying hard enough, and you're probably not making the changes, because with changing something, it's not going to be perfect. Now, what am I looking in here for? Oh yeah, some new subscribers. If you're new here and you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button. 75% of people watching my videos aren't currently subscribed, and that might seem not important to you, but actually it really helps us in terms of getting views and getting our content seen, and also being able to produce more content in the future. So if you enjoy the tips, hit that subscribe button. Now, it's easier when you're working on your technique, or even just when you're at the range, to get stuck like just hitting one club over and over again, which is obviously not what we do when we're out on the golf course. So I really like to kind of move through my bag and hit a variety of clubs. So generally what I'll do is either hit the odds or the evens on alternative days. So kind of starting my wedges, then go like pitching wedge 8, 6, 4, and then into the woods, or do the opposite with the odd numbers. Now, another good thing you can do is try and play the golf course out on the range. We know, especially in the UK at the moment, it's very wet, so we're not necessarily getting out on the golf course. So can you think about what clubs you would hit out on the course and kind of emulate that on the range? So can I get my driver out and tee off and then think, generally. Into the first I would hit about a 7 iron and kind of continue through your round like that. It's going to give you a lot more variety. With each shot I would recommend picking a different target, because on the golf course we have to aim in different ways all the time. So can we hit one down the right side? Can we hit one down the left? How does that affect our shots? If we're aiming left, do we tend to draw or fade it more? If we're aiming right, do we tend to draw or fade it more? And then you can make notes of this and see patterns. So when you're out on the course, or next time you see your coach, you can say, what I've noticed is when I aim right, I pull the ball more. Do you know why that might be? So we're really trying to build up, 1, awareness to help you game out on the course. 2, we're practicing that skill of changing target all the time, changing club. And 3, can we learn something new about our game that we can then go and educate ourselves about elsewhere? Now, a big thing I love to do on the driving range is do loads of different games and track them over time and see if I'm getting better. So a big thing I've probably struggled with this season is my driving. I haven't hit it as straight as I can. So when I'm looking down the range, can I pick 2 targets and create a fairway? So I might use this flag here and this flag there and create like a 20-yard wide fairway. And for me, if I hit through there, maybe I'm going to give myself 3 points. Now, I might give myself a little bit of leeway each side that I say is going to be semi-rough. Can I give myself a point if I hit it in there? And actually, if I hit it outside that, I'm going to say it's -1, I'm losing a point, because I'm really trying to work on straightening out my driver. Now, I might decide I'm going to hit 10 balls, do that each week, see what my score is, and build up if I'm improving. And again, make notes. Am I missing right or left? Why is that? What can I see in my swing that's affecting that? What can I ask my coach to help me with next time? Now, it might be you want to hit it further, so actually instead you do a distance-orientated game. Loads of different ways to bring games into your practice, make it competitive and keep it fun. Now, I definitely say when it comes to the range in winter, don't neglect your wedges. It can be really easy to just smash driver, practice your technique with your long irons and not actually think about this, but we're going to have a lot of these when it comes back to summer. So it's really easy to just get your laser out and zap some different targets and practice your distances and your distance control. And this is a good thing that I would say it's really good fun to do with a friend. So if there's someone else you can go to the range with, can you make this competitive, do some sort of nearest the pin with your wedges and dial in those distances. It's going to really help you when you get back out on the golf course. Now, if there aren't targets, if you're on a traditional practice round, you can obviously go out and put alignment sticks out. Or if you're on a driving range and you can't do that, you can even just zap different balls that are further down the range and try and pitch towards them. Now, again with this, I would really encourage you to hit towards different targets, practice in different directions. Even mess around with your trajectory. Can you hit ones that are going lower and higher? Which is going to help you if you go out and playing in different winds. Now, if you're working on your technique and changing things over winter, it might be that you suddenly start to hit your clubs different distances. So if you have access to a launch monitor, maybe it's a home one, like one of the Garmin's or the FlightScope Mevo, it's really good to keep checking your distances. Or it might be worth booking into a simulator with your friends and just going through your bag and checking your distances, so when you get back out in summer, you know how far your clubs are going to be going. Right, I hope those have been some helpful tips. Let me know in the comments, what was your favourite? If there's anything else you want to know to help you practice this winter. And come on, just think about your practice a little bit more, guys, and we're going to drop our handicaps next summer.